Wind and solar will produce about 1/3 of all of the world's electric needs, according to a new study by the Rocky Mountain Institute. Texas has reported record-breaking electricity demand due to high heat this month, but the grid has avoided some problems because of renewable energy. And AI is entering into the world of renewable energy with two companies announcing that they have robotic solar installation systems. I'm Jay Warmke with Blue Rock Station, and this is the news from the solar industry for the week of July 24th. All right, well, after years of escalating prices for solar electricity purchased through what are known as power purchase agreements, these prices seem to have stabilized over the last several months. In fact, for the first time since the first quarter of 2020, we've seen a decrease in the price of solar electricity, 1% decrease from quarter one to quarter two. A lot of these price increases over recent years have been due to interconnection delays, supply chain disruptions. Basically, the demand has outstripped supply. Wind power purchase agreements still continue to increase. In fact, they're up about 13% over quarter one, up about 30% year over year. Solar prices have also increased over the past 2 years, up about 17%. According to a new study by the Rocky Mountain Institute, they're projecting that by 2030, the world should see about 1/3 of all of its electricity generated through wind and solar. This is up from about 12% right now. And of course, solar will benefit even more so over the coming years because the cost of solar is already the cheapest form of electricity available on the grid, costing about $40 per megawatt hour, which roughly translates to about 4 cents per kilowatt hour for the production cost, the wholesale cost. They're anticipating that that will drop to about $20 per megawatt hour, or basically cut in half by the year 2030. Record heat in the state of Texas has resulted in record electricity demands. In fact, on July 12th at 4:55 p.m. in the afternoon, hit record demand for electricity at 81.4 gigawatts. This surpassed the previous record, which was set on June 27th of 81 gigawatts. We've seen that a lot of this demand was met by renewable energy, in fact, and strong winds and bright sunlight ended up producing more power through renewables than had been anticipated, which avoided the grid collapsing as the capacity reserves were exhausted, according to ERCOT, the management company of the Texas grid. Spot prices reflected this increased demand. On July 11th, the day before record demand, the spot prices for electricity were $84 per megawatt hour. On the day that the record was hit, they jumped to $1,372 per megawatt hour. That's basically about $14 per kilowatt hour spot price on the grid. Well, solar jobs grew by about 3.5% in 2022, according to a recent job study by IREC. Then that's not the whole picture, however. In 2022, we saw an 11% increase in residential solar jobs, while at the same time, we saw a decrease in utility scale solar jobs. In fact, utility scale jobs fell by about 6,000, largely due to delays in interconnection agreement processing. Solar jobs grew in 42 of the states, led by California, New York, Texas, Florida, and Massachusetts. Those were the top gaining states. The job market remains very tight for solar installers. In fact, in a recent survey, 44% of all solar installation companies responded that it was extremely difficult to find qualified people to fill their open positions. New research by the Department of Energy in connection with the University of Toledo found that for the first time they're finding bifacial perovskite solar panels are beginning to show promise of producing much more power than monofacial systems. Bifacial are basically solar panels where they absorb light not only from the front, but reflected light from the back of the solar panels. They found that these new perovskite-coated solar panels are efficient up to about 23% on the front of the panel, but then the back can absorb even 91 to 93% of that same amount of light absorbing through the back. While the costs are higher, then they do anticipate that about 10 to 20% higher production from these bifacial panels. The current record for solar efficiency is 26.7%. Now, before we finish up the solar news for this week, just wanted to point out that solarpvtraining.com has a few courses available for solar certification between now and the end of this year. We do have a one-week course at Zane State College, the week of August 14th through the 19th. We have a hybrid course, several of the hybrid courses, where we do essentially online lectures, about 46 hours of lectures, and then weekly Zoom meetings. And then that culminates with a 2-day session face-to-face. The first one is in late September, the September 23rd and 24th at Marietta College. Then there's also one at Hiram College, October 7th and 8th, and another one at MELink. This is through the University of Dayton, October 14th and 15th, and then another in Marietta College. So invite you to take part in those. And the race is on for robots to enter into the solar installation world. Two companies, Terabase Energy and Sarcos Energy, have both announced that they have systems in place that are robotic installation systems. They're for ground-mounted, typically utility-scale size systems. The goal is to enable 24/7 installation of these using a fully mechanized workforce in this case. Each terafab, and that's one of the units that is manufactured by Terabase, can install, each terafab unit can install up to 1 gigawatt of solar per year. These units are expected to reach the marketplace mid-next year, with operational activity taking place the end of 2024. And that is the news from the solar industry for this week. We'll see you next week.